Hi, everybody, and welcome to another bonus episode, a between seasons bit of nothing. And this one,
More nothing than usual, perhaps.
even more nothing than usual. This episode is, I don't even know what this is. It's basically we're going to go through the alphabet, and we're going to find a video game for each letter, that I suppose at the very least we've played and generally we've liked.
Yeah, in no way were we calling this like a top
These are not our
games
favourite
for the alphabet.
games.
They were just games that we have played and enjoyed and maybe have something to share about it.
Yeah,
we
we're
just
gonna
want to
chat
talk about
Well,
games.
this is a nothing. We're chatting about games. We have a vague structure. We're going to go from A to Z.
Yeah,
and,
to keep
it's
it
gonna be
on
fun.
theme a little bit,
Oh,
just to what extent do you feel like your list contains puzzly games?
There are a couple, but not many. There could have been more, but there aren't a huge amount.
I would argue that my list, while it doesn't contain that many that are explicit puzzle games, there is more puzzling than you'd expect throughout, and I think it would start to branch into a bigger philosophical argument about exactly how much of gaming is puzzling.
That's fair. Well,
Shall we start
shall we start?
at
A.
letter
That
is...
A.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
All right, so we're going to start. Danny,
Mhm.
there are lots of games for A. I have one that I have to put for A. We both know that I have to put it. If I'm going to pick a game
Ooh.
that starts with A, you and I both know that this is the one I have to put, and I couldn't afford to think of any others.
Okay, which one?
What's the game that I will always put for A? You know this. You
Yeah.
know the game.
I've just woken up. This is a bad game to play right now.
No, it's a great game to play all the time because I like it so much. It's one of the games that I will always talk about. I've recently talked about wanting to replay it for the, let's say, 30th time.
Armored Core?
No.
Oh.
Though I could have put Armored Core.
And
Armored
you
Core.
have just been talking about wanting to get back into it?
No. Arcanum of
Of
Steamworks
course.
and Magic Obscura
Yeah.
from 2002, maybe?
Thereabouts?
Very early 2000s. This is a game for me. There's a big childhood game that I've played consistently since then.
It's a role-play game. How early
It's a
is this
role-playing
into
game.
your playing of role-plays? Is this your first one?
Oh, is this the first? Oh, probably not. Because I played like original Baldur's Gate.
Oh, wow,
I played, which would have preceded it by a little bit. Other Baldur's Gate-like games I played, like I played Neverwinter Nights and things like that,
Oh,
which
that's
are probably in
fun.
a similar time frame for me. Arcanum, though, was quite early. It was one of the early ones, but I played it a lot. It's a top-down.
big and it's branchy.
It's
got so much to it.
It's isometric RPG. It's fantastic, as well written. It's interesting.
It's got that early 2000s clunk.
Oh yeah, it's heaps of clunk. It's got a 200-page manual.
Oh,
It's
I'm
fantastic.
so sorry if you are young enough that you never got the joy of buying a video game and reading the manual.
I used to have a physical copy of that manual, and I don't know how it
What?
went missing.
That's
It was beautiful.
outrageous.
But yeah, it's a great. It's set in a world where technology is starting to overtake magic in a fantasy world. So there are steam. It's like 1800s steam engines plus people still doing magic, and there's these constant back and forths. It's a fantastic game. We can't spend too long talking about it because we have 52 games to get through. But it's fantastic. Anyone who hasn't played Arcanum should, but you'll struggle because you really got to figure out. It's so many little clunks and things that should go one way and don't. It's not as bad as like trying to play Final Fantasy 1 or anything like that.
It felt like the advice that essentially you gave me when I tried to play it was just go with the sword.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to start. But it's really fun. It's really well written, great voice acting, a fun story, a really lovely world, and it's one of the great games. It's one of the great games of all time.
You're right. I think we'll need to... I don't have quite as much fancy stuff to say about mine. My pick for A is Alice the Madness Returns.
You're a big Madness Returns fan.
Which is interesting because the first Alice game...
These are American McGee's
American
Alice.
McGee's Alice.
Even if you go by that, it
More
still starts
A's.
with A.
The original Alice, I didn't really play more than 30 seconds of because I found the controllers
It's
literally
so-
unplayable.
It is incredibly clunky
And
to first.
the start of the game was insanely chaotic, and it just... I'll give it another try sometime, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alice the Madness Returns, I'm not sure what must happen in the first game, because the sequel stands alone totally fine, and it's really weird and enjoyable. What I do know about the first Alice is that at some childhood age, when did it come out?
So the first Alice, I just want to point out for people's reference, came out in the year 2000.
Okay.
So quite old. The second one, the one that you're playing, came out in 2011.
That late, wow.
Yeah, it was much
So
later than
that
the first one.
explains why the first one felt so unplayable. That first game, I remember wandering around as a child in the video game section of Kmart. Not the same as American Kmart, if you're American listening to this. Our
Arcanum
Kmart.
was 2001.
Okay. And I would find that game on the shelf, and I remember the cover of American McGee's Alice, which is just like maybe tween aged Alice holding a bloody knife with a skeletal Cheshire cat next to it. And I, as a child, was entranced.
American McGee's Alice is such like a classic, like cringy, edgelordy sort of thing, but it works. Of like, it's Alice in Wonderland, but what if everything's evil and you've got a big and Alice is depressed and she has a big knife.
Legitimization of fan fiction, and
yes, it's a big fan fiction.
It was my first interaction with anything like that, and the idea of Alice in Wonderland but horror as an adult it sounds like a lot of things, but as a kid who hadn't seen that sort of thing before,
very cool.
I was just drawn to it. So,
and in the end, they're sort of they're action platformers.
Yeah, and they're enjoyable, and they've got big, challenging, creepy bad guys, and you've got to figure out the best methods to beat them with the things in your arsenal. Like, are you going to use your pepper grinder, or are you going to use your Vorpal blade? And it's I don't know. It's great. And like so many platformers, I've got a few platformers on my list. There is some element of puzzling to it, whether it's working out combat or finding hidden collectibles. Platformers are just puzzle games with extra steps.
That is true. There's a lot of puzzling, environmental
That's what I'm starting to
solving
realize, and I think might be my thesis. Shall we go on to letter B?
Okay.
B was the hardest one. It's the only one where I've crossed something out and written a new one.
There are so many B games.
B hurt.
Like, I could have put so many games that we absolutely love. The Batman series. Batman Arkham.
That's what I crossed out.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Broken Age.
Broken Age. Great game. I was going to put Battletech, which I've been playing a lot of recently. There's even more.
And you went with?
B is great. So I was thinking of Battletech, and then I went, the name of a game has entered my head from my childhood, and I haven't thought about this game forever. Let me see if this is a real thing. I've put the 1994 real-time strategy game Battle Bugs.
Real-time strategy, okay.
But it's not the same as a lot of other real-time strategy. It is individual scenario real-time strategy. So you'll be like, this is the battle for the piece of pizza on the kitchen table. And then you'll draft your little army of bugs, and it's similar to like an auto battler, I think, in a modern context. And you put them out
feeling like
on
small soldiers to
me. And then they sort of run through, and it's real time. The bugs fight each other, and you move them, and they each have their own abilities. It's sort of like it weirdly reminds me of like a battle-focused version of like Lemmings or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
But I hadn't thought about this game for about 20 years, and then we sat to make this list, and I went, what the hell is Battle Bugs? Why is that in my brain? And I looked it up, and I got these huge hits of nostalgia from the imagery of it. I'll show Dani. None of you can see it, but please, at home, Google Battle Bugs, the 1994 video game, to get some great images of Battle Bugs. Where, you're putting your armies to fight each other for the Battle of Pizza.
Something that you would have on the primary school computer.
You're at a picnic. Yes, it's big primary school computer energy.
Oh, wow.
It was great.
Yeah, that's just an isometric giant cola bottle.
You can see in this picture, there's like a capture the flag. You get one of your bugs onto this salami, and he takes control of the salami, and you're fighting for who gets control of all the food. It's great. Battle Bugs was so weird.
Oh, was it a Sierra?
Probably. Everything was in 1994. It was great. It was cool. It was weird. And I suddenly remembered it, so I had to put it on the list.
Nice.
Looks like you can play it on Internet Archive. So everyone get on Internet Archive right now and play some Battle Bugs.
So yeah, like I also had trouble with this. I could not, in the end, in good conscience, go past BioShock.
Of course, BioShock. BioShock, I feel like, was one of the first games that you and I had as like a together
Yeah,
game.
I knew that I'd heard it was a horror game, so I wasn't going to play it, and I watched you play it and went, actually, I love this.
It's really
Now, I loved the description of it. One of my friends had described it to me, like exactly how scary Big Daddies were and their giant drill hands and things like that. And I thought, yeah, awesome, but I can't do that. And yet I have since played all of the BioShocks and I really love it. And it turned into a game that, while very scary, some of the jump scares that you get they make me feel good about how scary they were. But in the end, one thing that I got from this is, hey, put your horror game down to a low difficulty, and suddenly it's a power fantasy where you can punch things to death in a single blow, and it feels great.
Yeah, and it's a well-written game. It's a beautifully atmospheric game. The environments are so fun to walk through and be in. The weird stuff that's going on, this destroyed, completely broken down society in an underwater city. It's great.
They did great work.
BioShock, again, if you haven't played BioShock,
Well worth it.
take a break.
Still scary.
play Battle
We
Bugs.
tried to replay it
Oh
recently.
yeah, it's too spooky.
Amazing.
But it's a fantastic game.
Okay, my C game, not one that will surprise you. Back to childhood platformers.
Oh, are you thinking Commander Keen?
No, I'd consider that, but I can't go past Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
so I went Crash
course.
Bandicoot 2 specifically. I think is my highlight of a game.
You were I was never a PlayStation kid,
No.
but you were a PlayStation 1 kid.
So again, we've got a platformer and intensely challenging puzzles hidden deep within. Just again, secret things to find. Crash Bandicoot 1 was less forgiving, but Crash Bandicoot 2 potentially harder based on some of the challenges that are in there. And we've got things like it is a staple in the Crash Bandicoot game that, hey, if you can find and break every box in a level, then you'll get given a gem. And the difficulty of needing to actually
games are
find
great.
some of those boxes.
You'll just get, I don't know,
So you
a
get a
gem
gem.
or something.
Great.
Whatever.
It's quite something. And so there's a lot of secrets for you to unlock. And just, it's got that vibe of if you're in a level and you go, hey, that platform that I can't reach looks a little bit weird. Is there actually some way for me to reach that? And you do, and you'll be warped to a new level because it was a secret entrance to something. And so you are on the lookout for secrets and challenges, and it makes you, it's one of those things that really rewards a child.
Yeah, when you're a kid and you just have one game to play and you sit there and spend all of your time playing the same game and you're just willing to go over and over and over again and try and figure it out, especially back then when it's hard to find stuff online. It's a fun experience.
I definitely still have a big piece of paper in Texter where I found all my Crash and Spyro cheats. So there was internet back then.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. I'm not going to pretend that we couldn't look things up.
I knew this because I had an older cousin.
So I did put Commander Keen.
Lovely.
Because it was my first sort of classic C game.
Do you have a preference for a version?
Weirdly, I think.
I think originals or Secret Oracle.
Is that 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, Commander Keen 4 I think is the best one.
Fair. Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I really have great fond memories of Commander Keen 1, especially the overworld of Commander Keen 1 in that red,
red.
sort of. Commander Keen, if you haven't played it, one of the classic side-scrolling platformer games back in the world of like original Duke Nukem or Secret Agent, or you're just a kid with a laser gun running through these levels. They are fantastic.
You need to charge up. You can't just shoot willy-nilly.
They're really well. They're interesting.
Your mode of extra fun transport is a pogo stick.
You can get a pogo stick.
That pogo stick was very
It's got
enjoyable.
weird canon because they're all made by the same companies. It was made by id. So I believe the main character of Doom is canonically the grandson of the child in Commander, who's the main character, Commander Keen.
What?
The Commander Keen's grandfather, I believe, is canonically the main character of Wolfenstein.
Goodness gracious.
And
his love child with one of the aliens is Porbo from Rise of the Golden Idol.
Well, and there is a secret, didn't even notice as I was doing it, but there is an Easter egg in Rise of the Golden Idol, the game that is not on my list because we worked on it. It feels weird to put it there. Yeah. And I could have put Case of the Golden Idol here for C, given that it sort of changed our career path a little bit, but whatever. It's a phenomenal game. I just want to talk about Commander Keen. The alien in in the first DLC as well as the drive-in scene from Rise of the Golden Idol.
First DLC?
Yeah. Appears at the end. Porbo. Porbo is a reference to the enemies in Commander Keen. Not deliberately, but it very much looks exactly like one of the Commander Keen episodes.
Is he in the DLC?
He's right at the very end of the DLC.
My gosh.
There's a little... That's already like an Easter egg of Porbo,
Okay.
who's an Easter egg of Commander Keen. I could put Caesar 3 on this list, one
There
of my
were
favorite games.
so many
Civilization.
choices.
How did I put Civilization? I've played thousands
yeah,
and
this was
thousands
not
of
a
hours of
ranking
Civilization.
list.
No, I just want to talk about Commander Keen.
That being said,
Go play Commander Keen.
I cut
I could've
Batman
put Cosmos Cosmic
Batman
Adventure.
Arkham City,
Yeah.
and I think that might be my perfect game.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That said, while we're going into D, there's no way, even though D was an amazing letter, there was so much choice.
So many
Of
games.
course I was going to put Dragon Age Origins.
Yes, I was also going to put Dragon Age Origins, and I didn't because I knew you would.
Yeah.
Dragon Age Origins is the last of the good BioWare games.
And
it is the last of its type.
it was
that
not my
did well.
first big RPG, but the first one that was of that big sprawling scale and storytelling intensity. So this, what we were like 19,
Came out in
relatively new to me.
2009?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a new enough experience to me that, of course, I was going to fall
Yes.
in love with it. And oh my God, I really did.
And
it was spectacular.
Dragon Age Origins is for you such a good game because it's well written from a character perspective. It cares about the people in its narrative and really creates a lot of interesting and nuanced human and like elf characters, puts them in the situation and deals with them as characters rather than just going,
And they
let's do a
kind of,
fantasy
it
thing. Let's
seems,
do a fantasy
lost
thing.
that a little bit as the series progressed.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, by the time you get to Dragon Age 3, that no one's well written. It's just stuff that happens. But the first one, Dragon Age Origins, is fantastically written, both from a world building fantasy perspective, but also just it grips you if you care about characters, and you care about characters and narrative.
And
I
feel like it says a lot about this game that literally I and all of my closest female friends all fell in love with Alistair.
Sure.
Just as a character. I would not call us the sort of people who have the same taste in people.
No. And that's also a thing. All you people playing Baldur's Gate 3, and you're like, oh, look at the romance options. There are no romance options in Baldur's Gate 3. There's just things where you can be like, we're in a relationship now. You gotta earn it. You gotta romance them for the. It's ridiculous. Dragon Age Origins. Now those are some real romances. You can really develop relationships with these characters.
Shall we go into E?
No,
You haven't done your D.
I didn't do my D.
Sorry.
We could have done so many things for
Yeah.
D.
Where'd you
Dragon
go?
Age was great, but I went for something more new. Well, I say new, and it's 5-6 years old now, whatever, probably. But one of my, I think for a long time, there was that genre of isometric RPG that I loved, Arcanum, Dragon Age
Yeah.
Origins, Fallout, all this sort of stuff.
What is this guy?
And I think for a while I was like, oh, none of these are good anymore. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I can't do this genre anymore. And then, of course, the absolute modern masterpiece of Disco Elysium came out.
Of course.
Disco Elysium, in terms of, while we're talking about writing and character writing, is, I think, of that style of the isometric top-down thing, the best game that has come out for decades.
Wildly
It is an
forward.
absolute modern classic, immediately a classic. If you haven't played Disco Elysium, you should.
And you know what it is? It's a modern art piece of a game with phenomenal story that doesn't just leave you feeling bummed out and sad.
That's
it's
another
not
thing.
trying to sad your heartstrings to get you to feel good.
There is a really big
and
tendency
feel into it.
in modern games, especially in indie gaming, to go, this game is going to be an important game. So your mum's dead, or your dad's dying, or you have to deal with the fact that your dead mum can't remember the fact that your dad's dying, or you are so sad because everyone in your family is dead from the Alzheimer's that your mother gave to your
Generally
father.
a parent who is dead or with Alzheimer's.
And it's like this constant thing of like, don't worry, this one's really sad because in this one your father's an alcoholic. And Disco Elysium is sad in the characters, but because they're sad people, not because it's trying to go, hey, here are the emotional beats that happen in stories. Let me just hit them and
They're not
see
trying
what
to
happens.
make you sad.
Yes, they're
through
having
it.
incredibly sad characters.
It's like
but
watching
it's-
House. House, the characters are incredibly sad, but
if you haven't played it, you really, really should. It's just from a writing perspective, it's fantastic.
the director's cut version, yeah.
You have to get the most recent. The original release didn't have all the voice acting, and it wasn't fully
very
done.
sad.
They did they kind of did an update or a new release of it a little bit after it came out, which is like the way to play it. There was huge problems with the company afterwards, and people like stealing IP from each other and buying it out and firing and replacing.
Yeah,
and
very sad drama.
so if you need to steal it, I don't.
I think the original creators have said that's fine.
Yeah,
but-
the money that you buy it now is not going to go to the people who it should go to. So do whatever you want. But It's a fantastic game.
E?
E. I went back to the past for E.
Oh, okay.
I went back to, 2003?
I only went to about 2006.
Ooh. My E is classic. E is the first letter of Elder Scrolls, which
Oh,
means you have
okay.
to then pick an Elder Scrolls, and I'm not a baby, so I'm not picking Skyrim, and I'm not a loser, so I'm not picking Daggerheart, and no one's going to pick Arena, and Oblivion just got a remake, so that's passe. We're going to talk about
okay.
the best one. Is it the one that I played first as a child? Is that a coincidence? Yes, it's definitely actually legitimately objectively the best one. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Which is janky and weird and full of all this 2000s gaming nonsense, but really, really cool.
What's the combat like in Morrowind,
click,
Billy?
click, 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 click.
Wow.
But the world is so lovely in Morrowind.
And that seems
I
I
think
feel like that was what people complained about when Oblivion first
that
came
they
out, that you
pulled
had
back
gone from Morrowind, this weird world,
yes,
and then suddenly
it's-
made it, this is England, I guess.
Yeah, it's a high fantasy RPG, but it's set in like a weird island run like off the coast of a weird place in this fantasy universe, and there's fungus that grows super tall and all the build, but like it's got a beautiful setting, but the world is so interesting and it's very it's the most complicated Elder Scrolls kind of has been, although again Daggerfall people will tell me I'm crazy, but it's really lovely. And then Oblivion, when it came out, people went, oh, this is a huge step back in like complexity and character and interest, not just because the world has kind of become bland, but also because there's not as much interplay, and there's not like I can do whatever I want. I don't have to be this type of person. Morrowind would be like, I want to join this political faction, and then it has its own sub story with all these other political factions. But
and your choices
if you
actually matter.
and the choices matter. But also, if you want to get better at it, you have to hone your political skills. You can't just be like, no, I'll just do the quest. They're like, no, I'm not going to give you a quest because you don't know how to talk to people. Improve your speechcraft. And Oblivion sort of stepped back a little from that, and then Skyrim even more. Skyrim is much shallower than either Oblivion, and then definitely Morrowind. Morrowind is wonderful. It is, again, if you're not used to games from that era, it's hard to play, but it's beautiful, it's lovely, and it's fun. Is it well written? It's Elder Scrolls. They're not like well written, but it is the world is well built. Elder Scrolls is very good at Bethesda is good at building these worlds, and I think it's a really beautiful, interesting world. And even the basis of like, there's fast travel, but you have to kind of earn it. You have to go to if I want to go from one place to another on the other side of the map, it'll be like, oh, well, there's only a Silt Strider network that takes you halfway, and then there's a boat that goes the rest of the way, and then that'll take you to a Mage's Guild, and that's one of the guilds that can teleport you there. So it's fast travel, but you do it,
Great,
really
but
have to
brutal.
learn it. It's wonderful. I love it. Morrowind is fantastic.
My E, there are, again, a couple of choices, but it was hard to go past Enchanted Arms.
Oh. Now, is that well written?
Well, that's an interesting question, Billy. The
Enchanted
answer is
Arms.
no.
Enchanted Arms is an Xbox 360 game, and it is the best worst game that you could ever play.
And the most fascinating part about it is that this is a From Software
yeah,
game.
this is how you annoy people who say, "What's your favorite FromSoft game?" Expecting you to either say Dark Souls, Elden Ring, or if you're weird and really love mechs, you might say Armored Core 6. If you're really cool and love mechs, you say Armored Core 2.
Enchanted Arms is not like any of these games.
No, Enchanted Arms is an anime-styled, sprawling, like 100-hour RPG that's not an open world RPG, a very, very directed, step-by-step, stage-by-stage role-playing game with horrendously done voice acting on dialogue that is terrible. For writing
a plot that is not. Please, Billy, can you describe to me the plot of Enchanted Arms?
Okay, you are hanging out in Yokohama with your friend, and there's an evil teacher who tricks you into summoning the Ice Queen Golem, and then she takes over your friend's heart, and you get kicked away, and you have to save him by teaming up, and then you go fight ninjas, and you find an ascetic monk, and then the ascetic monk tells you to go to a forge, and then the forge lets you go back to Yokohama where your friend, and there's a mystery man
I don't
who's
know what
following
forge
you,
this is.
and then that mystery man is clearly your other friend because it's just him in a mask, and you don't find that
even a
out for
mask,
like
just
40
sunglasses.
hours, and then he joins, and then you free your friend, but he doesn't want to be freed because he's like he's Sasuke and you're Naruto. And then you beat the Ice Queen. And there's a girl with guns who's a cowboy, and then you do a whole detour where you go and hunt a monster with her. Plus there's a princess whose bodyguard has a 17-foot sword, and together with them you have to fight a rebellion in a castle in a ravine, and then that lets you it doesn't make any sense. There's a big staircase.
There is a big staircase.
There's a really big staircase. And you fight in this game by summoning little golems, but then you don't actually need them, so most of the time you don't use them at all.
Yeah, they're much weaker than the humans in the game.
But the combat system is really fun.
This
the combat is
thing.
great.
Everything about this game is painful and shocking.
So bad.
Except, some of these voice actors are like famous voice actors.
Great voice actors.
It's
not
just
good voice acting.
fascinating how you get also people who can't consistently say the name of the cities
Or the characters.
Oh boy. The combat system is the greatest combat system for a turn-based game that a game has ever had. It's very mathsy, but it's just grid-based combat.
But it's like
positional and grid-based.
But it's like each team has a 2x4 grid that they can stand in, and then they do their attacks, and their attacks take up grid patterns. So you're trying to like line your people up to line your attacks up to get combos to work, but you don't like go over to their side. It's not like playing a Final Fantasy Tactics.
Everything's a bit ranged.
It's all separate, and it's all about positioning your own people to best get combos and force your enemies into places where you can get better things. It's great. It's really simple but really complex.
Which means it's
really interesting.
Painfully addictive. It's just
and
you
then
have to
sit
get through everything else. Oh
I don't think the
God.
tutorial of this game finishes until you're about 30 hours in.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean, you know how in a lot of games, X will do everything, right? It'll be like, you want to open a door, you hit X. You want to climb a ladder, you hit X. You want to open a chest, you hit X. That's because X is just the interact button. So the game will say, press X to interact, and then that's it. Whereas
Enchanted Arms, though.
Enchanted Arms will give you a literal, like, I'm going to try and be as literal as I can, 2-minute discussion every time you find a new thing that X can do, where the characters go, wait a minute, if I want to climb a ladder, I have to hit X? Oh, you idiot. Don't you remember when we were told to press X to climb ladders? I missed that day in class. Just go up to the ladder and then you press the X button and you'll start climbing. Wait, climbing with X? That's right. Okay, I'll give it a try. Every single time. It's insane.
Yeah, this is not an exaggeration.
That is like a word-for-word quote from the game. It's terrible. It's amazing. Please go play it. These are all recommendations, by the way.
Oh,
when
absolutely.
you finish Battle Bugs, play Enchanted Arms. It'll only take you 140 hours.
Everything on my list is something that I loved playing.
How's your F, Dani?
I'm very happy with my F.
What's your F?
It's obviously Forgotten City.
Ooh, very, very good Forgotten City.
So everybody plays Outer Wilds and says that it's the most one of the most fantastic puzzly games in the world. And I agree. As I watched Bill
really
playing it,
it's a really good game. It's not my O, but only because I knew that Dani was going to talk about it already.
I appreciated it tremendously. However, I could not play it for a variety of reasons that I won't go into. It just was not a game that was
It was never going to click for Dani.
However,
despite it being one of the great puzzle games of all time.
However, we bought Forgotten City for cheap some years ago, and it just sort of sat on a table, not being played for a very long time. And eventually I picked up one of the Assassin's Creed games, played it for 5 minutes, went, no, I'm not enjoying this. This isn't working for me. Took it out, put in Forgotten City. And then how long did it take before I turned to you and commented on the game? Like
very
10
little.
minutes?
Yeah, you was like, this is
I just turned to Bill and said, I think I love this game. And I did. It's one of those ones where you don't want to say a huge amount about the mechanics. Let's just say time loops and deep, deep character exploration in something that isn't actually like a mega deep game.
No, but it
was originally made as a Skyrim mod.
Yeah, it was a mod of Skyrim that got turned into its own game. But it's a time loop where you have a sort of a goal. They tell you straight up, here's what you need to do in this time loop. But we don't know what is going on. We don't know why this is happening, but you need to find out. You need to find out what causes a problem and fix it. And by looking into this, you get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into worlds of mystery and betrayal and people who are lying and people who are telling the truth and then it twists and there's all these choices you can make at the game. And it gets really interesting. And again, character driven. The characters are interesting people to talk to.
Just a hint of creepy.
Yeah, there's one sort of creepy section of the game. It's really great. It is a very fantastic game and made by a small team and definitely worth playing, especially if you are already like an Outer Wilds fan or just a mystery gaming fan. It's a really fun one to check out and play. And you should play it. Mine is F. I feel like there were a few options. I went for Final Fantasy X.
I mean, that's fair enough. That's a significant part of your childhood
which cool
and
people,
adulthood.
Which cool people will know is the best Final Fantasy game. And some people say, don't you mean 7? And I'll say no. And then some weird people say, oh, you mean 9? And I'll say no. And then they say, oh, 8. And I'll say, come on, what do you think? You think Quistis is the best character in Final Fantasy? You're crazy. Final Fantasy X, it's the best Final Fantasy. It's fantastic. It's one of the great stories told in video games.
It was the one that in high school, that was what one of my friends tried to get me into Final Fantasy with, and it didn't click at all the first time I played it.
So good.
Or the second time I played it.
It's so good though. The characters are all lovely. The gameplay.
The fixed camera really threw me. I didn't like it.
One of the things that it has, that to me puts it ahead of a lot of other Final Fantasy games, is that its combat system in the world of Final Fantasy is unique in that it is fully turn-based. Final Fantasy doesn't often have fully turn-based. It does action battle systems where where everybody has to constantly wait, but they're not turn-based. They sort of like pop up at different times.
Like Pokemon
and that
ZA.
becomes a bit stressful and you want to click a lot, whereas this has set turns so that you can strategize a lot more. You can really get deep into like the mechanics of it in a way that I think works better than any other Final Fantasy game. Every other Final Fantasy game devolves into click, click, attack, 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 attack. Final Fantasy X, I find there's a lot more, oh, if you do this, then I can swap this person in, they can do this. And then when they swap back out on their turn, that'll be this. And then this attack is faster, so that should get me a second attack before. It's great. The characters are all interesting. The story is fun and weird and great. And the story is interesting enough that recently there was a book written by a fantasy author where the twist was, oh, I just really like Final Fantasy X. I've basically made Final Fantasy X, but it's a book now.
That was really
great.
funny how just reading that book and just going, wait a second, I know this.
This is
twist.
Final Fantasy X. I won't tell you what book because it is a big twist if you've played the game. And if you read the book, it's a big twist to the game to know the connection. But it's great. Everyone should play it. Play Final Fantasy X. They did a remaster of it. You can play that too. It has a sequel. I've never gotten through the sequel.
They remastered 10?
Yeah, you can buy Final Fantasy X remastered on Steam. Go and do it. It's a great game.
I didn't know they'd done that. I thought they only did 7.
Play it with the English voice acting. It's lovely. It's great. Everyone play Final Fantasy X. Dani, what's your G?
My G is Guacamelee.
Oh, that's another game we played together.
Yeah, that we played co-op. It was beautiful. Again, I feel it straddles that line of action platforming with some puzzle elements to it because they all do. This is what platformers are.
It's Metroidvania, that one. It's that same style of you unlock new abilities and you travel and you explore this huge big map.
I do quite enjoy a game with that style of platforming where it's you start out relatively basic and then at some set stage level you gain a new ability and then for anything that you missed before you can now go back and unlock those things.
And those are the Guacamelee games there are 2 of them. They are explicitly multiplayer. It's not like we were swapping off a controller playing Metroid or something. It is you can play it 2-player, and if you have someone that you like playing video games with, it's a really great one to play.
And
together,
it's like, how would you describe it? Magical luchador themed?
It's magical luchador themed.
And it's beautiful.
Is it well written?
It's not. I mean, the writing isn't the focus quite as much. It's not like deep.
It's a game that tries to put a lot
way.
Of comedy in, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses. But the gameplay itself is really good.
It's great. Also, there are a lot of chickens.
There are a lot of chickens.
Yours?
I went for my first full-on puzzle game.
Ooh.
Under G, classic childhood puzzle game. Again, it's one of the greats. If you haven't played it, you definitely have to go and play it. Grim Fandango.
Of course.
Everybody loves Grim Fandango. It is
not the first time we've talked about it on here.
Absolutely a classic. Again,
Oh,
really
how about that while we're in the same sorts of thematic read area?
Yes, also a game that has a lot of Day of the Dead sort of symbolism and imagery. It is a game set where you are a Grim Reaper in the afterlife who finds out that the system is kind of broken and corrupt, and you go and try and fix it, but not the system, you try and fix it for one person. It is very much a noir-feeling game. It's got a very noir-heavy style.
Totally.
As you uncover this kind of sinister stuff happening. There's lots of time jumps. As the story progresses, it is some of the puzzles from a modern context can be very obtuse. It's a classic old point-and-click adventure game, but it's not actually point-and-click. You sort of move around. Yeah. It's a tank controls game, but the character work is so fun. The writing is amazing.
I think it's general atmosphere of it is beautiful.
It's visually beautiful.
Spectacular.
The voice acting is phenomenal. The main character is played by Tony Plana, who you would know from The Good Wife, or from Three Amigos, or from Ugly Betty, or from any of the other cool stuff you've seen Tony Plana in. He's fantastic. He does brilliantly in this game. And it was also, they did a remaster of it recently, where you can change the style of graphics. Don't worry about it. The old style's great. You can change the types of controls. Don't worry about it. Play tank controls. It's terrible, but you got to do it. But it comes with the director's commentary, which other games, I've never seen a game with director's commentary. And I think it's such a cool thing to have for the re-release. It's one of my favorite things that someone has done in video games to do that, where you can just sort of click on objects, but there's a new interact button on certain objects, and that new interact button is, hear what Tim Schafer had to say about it. Hear what the guy who did the music had to say about it. Hear what the art team had to say about it. It's really, really fun. And it is one of the great adventure puzzle games in the history of the genre. So if you haven't played it, you should. Don't feel bad about needing a walkthrough for some of the puzzles, because some of them are bad, but it doesn't have the same types of bad puzzles that other point and clicks had. It doesn't have moon logic. It has some things that are hard to figure out, but nothing is ever so obtuse.
I should give it another go. I'm smarter than I was last time I tried to play it.
You could very easily get through it without a walkthrough. It is not that obscure. It's not that weird like some of the games. There's no puzzle in that where you go, how are you ever going to get that? It's fantastic. And the characters are beautiful and lovely, and the story's wonderful. And go play Grim Fandango. And it just looks good.
It's really nice.
Oh, when people get shot in that game. Oh,
people
get
shot in that game?
Oh, it's so good when it happens, though. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Oh.
It's a great game. H. What's your H,
We
Dani?
know what I was going with for H.
Also, I'd like to point out, we're going to get to M, and we're going to end this episode, and then we're going to do N to Z next
I suspect
next
that
week,
might be the case.
because we are 36 minutes in.
Oh, boy.
And we are only at
7 letters in.
yeah, so we're going to go to M. We're going to stop at M, everybody. And then next week, we're going to go. So if you hate it, that's fine. Like, you shouldn't get anything. We're between seasons. Count your blessings. While Dani counts the blessing of H. What was your H game?
You know what I was going to go with for H.
For H? What
Yeah.
are you? Ooh,
For
H.
There are some games where I am
New
in
or
love with
old?
them. New.
New game starts with H that you love.
All right, we don't have time for this. Hades.
Of course, Hades. Of course, Hades. Hades is one of the greatest video games ever made.
Look, turns out I really like roguelikes.
Yeah, Dani's a big roguelike fan.
I think roguelite is my preferred region
Well,
if
there's
we're
some
going to
real
differentiate.
progression.
Yeah, progression between runs where your death matters, and as soon as you're dead, you can go back to your hub home and start upgrading your stuff. That's what I really enjoy doing. And it will show up more than once on this list. But Hades, why did we even get Hades?
I think it was just people talking about it. My brother is a fiend
He's
for
on the
every
ball.
roguelike in the world. If there is if you have ever played a roguelike and you think, I wonder if Bill's brother has played that, the answer is always yes. It's always yes. He's already played it. He's already beaten it. You were too late. He was playing it in beta. So he played a lot of the other Supergiant games. He really loved Bastion. So Bastion is what put the game studio on the map for me, because he talked about Bastion all the time. And I never really played Bastion, but I knew they're the ones who made Bastion. People really liked it. And then when Hades came out, everyone was talking about how great it was. And we just thought, that'll be fun. Might be something
like
a
so
bit of
many
fun,
of these
bit
games.
nice. Let's hope it's good.
I had no idea what I was in for. I think I just got roguelike, and that was about it. I don't think I'd ever played an isometric roguelike before.
No,
and yet very quickly, it didn't take much for me to get into it and realize that it was going to click for me. And now I describe it as one of the games where it's one of the games where if the devil comes up to you and challenges you to win at a game against him, it is the game that I will pick. I am good at Hades.
That's true. If you haven't played it, Hades is a really good way to get into roguelikes, because one of the things that it does that other ones don't do as much is between runs, after you have died, you've tried to do your mission, you tried to do what your character's trying to do, and you fail and you die, and then you do your upgrades to get stronger. The big thing it does is it rewards you with, again, and this is a theme for games that we like, especially Dani, really, really well-written dialogue and character and story, so you progress the narrative.
You look forward to dying in
So
this
when
game, so that
exactly,
more will happen.
It doesn't feel like, oh, I've died, I have to start again. You go, oh, I've died. Let's see what this is talking about now. When I get back there, I want to talk to this person. I want to talk to that person. I want to see who's here. And there are multiple storylines happening throughout the game. Of each of these characters has their own character story alongside the full narrative of what the game is doing. You learn more things. You speak to the characters. You really grow attached to them because they are well written and well acted. And that quality of writing, for some people like to say it's a roguelike that tricks you into enjoying a visual novel, and it's great. Or it's a visual novel that tricks you into reading it by being a great roguelike. But it is one of the best visual novels out there, and it's one of the best roguelikes out there in terms of gameplay. There's a sequel. The sequel is a great sequel. It's really, really good.
But yeah, the first one was the one that you're going to fall in love with because it's the first one.
Yeah, if you're going to pick up a Hades, you pick up Hades 1.
Oh, for sure. It would be crazy not to.
Because, and it's great. So 100% comes with a huge recommendation. Go and check it out if you haven't. And it's on everything. Just play it. Now, this one that I've got isn't on everything. You'll need to find a copy of it and get the appropriate mods to be able to run it in 2026.
Ooh.
But it is absolutely, I have also gone for a classic, one of the best of its type. Also with a very unique type. There aren't many games that play like this, but it is the classic. And I have picked Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Of course.
Some weirdos might be saying you should play 2. Some crazy people might think that 4 is the best. Those people are obviously wrong. Everybody agrees. It's Heroes of Might and Magic 3. These are old strategy games. Oh, when did Heroes 3 come out? I think that's the 2000s. Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is the only version that autofills and you type Heroes of, came out in, what year did this? 1999.
Oh,
so it's not the 2000s. This game is fantastic. It is not well written and character driven. There are storylines in it. I couldn't tell you anything about the stories of it. That's not the point. It is a game where you control cities that you grow into. It's not like Civilization where you found a lot of cities. You usually only have 1 or 2 in an entire game. You build them up, you build buildings, you upgrade your units, you create armies, you get a hero to run around the map and find things and unlock them and fight other people. And it is fantastic. It is the best of its type. There are some other games in this genre, but most of them are just Heroes of Might and Magic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. If you haven't played it, I think it holds up. There are ways to play it in 2026 because there are communities that get together to talk about the easiest ways to play it and the right mods to play it. It is great. It is legitimately a very, very good and fun game. It is unique. There are other things, but I feel like everything else is a clone of Heroes of Might and Magic.
I don't have much to contribute to this one. Is this the one that you got me to play at one point, or was that something
I
completely
may
different?
have tried to get you to play this game at some point.
There's a game that's got a title in this sort of field.
You have a guy on a horse that is on a map, and then you get into a fight, and it zooms in, and you've got like hex-based combat where you have stacks of units.
You have a champion.
There'll be like this stack of units is 1,000 peasants, and this stack is 52 vampires, and this one is 2 ogres, and there's a black.
I think so,
and
but
then
I
you
can't
fight those
guarantee
armies,
it.
And you tactical combat, and then you get back. It's great. I don't know much to say. You're puzzle people, you're narrative people, you're not here to talk. You don't actually care about Heroes of Might and Magic 3, but you should. It's a great game. Obviously, if I'm talking to you, our audience, I'll recommend Return to the Obra Dinn. You'll be like, yeah, of course I played it. And we'll say, oh, well, did you play Forgotten City? And you'll say, no, I haven't. And you should play that. But if you want to be really cool and become the right type of video game nerd, play Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
In no way have I curated this list to be for puzzle people or
No.
about puzzle games, but video games in general are puzzles for the most part. Like, sometimes they're puzzles that mean you need reflexes as well, but a lot of this is puzzle more than you expect
And sometimes
it to be.
they're puzzles where you think, I don't have enough gold to upgrade my black dragons into silver dragons, so instead I'm going to sell all of my crystals, and that'll generate me enough. Oh, crystals! I needed the crystals for the dragons! Oh, they cost crystals as well! Oh, I'm an idiot! I should have sold the sulfur! Ah! And that's the puzzle Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Mm-hmm.
What is your eye game, Dani?
There were still a few choices, but I thought that for specific reasons, I was going to go with Inscription, and so I did.
Oh, Inscription, a very, very good game. We've had Daniel Mullins, the creator of Inscription, on the show.
Now, the reason in particular, lots of people have talked about Inscription and how great it is.
It is a
Yay,
fantastic
fun,
game.
puzzles, roguelike as well.
Some
to
people
an
don't
extent.
get it. Some people don't get that game.
Well, here's the thing. Most people that I see talking about it on online spaces and things, this game is separated into acts. Where the game substantially changes every so often during one of these acts. The majority of people that you see talking about it online fell in love with Act 1. And so insofar as like creating mod versions and things that is just an extended version of Act 1 and ignores all of the rest. I was not sold in Act 1. Act 1 did not, like, it didn't not work for me, but it wasn't what grabbed me. It wasn't until Act 1 finished and suddenly you are told, hang on, things are about to change.
And they do change a lot.
That's what drew me. That is exactly what I do in games. I like it when they get weird.
Yeah, and Inscription gets weird. We were originally played it because, like, a lot of people in the puzzling community were told, oh, there's also, like, escape room elements.
Yeah, it's a roguelike with an escape room to it.
And there are, but there's not much.
Not really.
But what it is a fantastically designed game with a really interesting, like, story and feel and emotion to it. And it's kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of like 4 games in one that are all kind of similar thematically, but play very, very differently as the game changes from act to act.
I will also say that I feel like the later acts, especially Act 2, which might be particularly why I fell in love with it here, it hit some strong nostalgia bones.
Yes, yeah, for very specific types of...
Not even specific types. It hit a nostalgia for one specific game that was a significant part of my childhood. And it felt great just at how accurate of homage it was.
Yeah. Gollum, if you haven't played Inscription, you should. That came out probably annoyingly
a handful of years ago now.
We'll look back and be like, 10 years, wow. Or something like that. But it's fantastic. It's a great game.
It is
well worth
super
playing.
Atmospheric.
Very atmospheric, very interesting, beautiful game. Like, visually very beautiful. And mechanically...
Soundscape.
And the soundscape is fantastic. The music is great. And... It's well worth your time. Definitely go and check it out. We've already talked about this on the episode that both the creator and the audio designer came on. But go and check it out. It's great. I wanted to get a VR game in.
Totally fair.
I almost put Fisherman's Tale for Final Fantasy instead of Final Fantasy X for F, because that is one of my favorite VR games. It is a beautiful VR puzzle game.
Definitely a puzzle game.
I don't play much VR. We have a system. We don't use it a huge amount. I'm a sucker for VR. I get so immersed in it. I really fall into it and just go, wow, this is beautiful. Like, I am sold on it as a technology. I just don't play enough of it, and I should play more. But every time I put on that headset, I'm just like, wow, I'm in the world of tomorrow. Immediately.
It's true.
And from an escape room perspective, the classic escape room game for VR, I Expect You to Die.
Now, this is interesting because I was actually on the verge of saying I think Fisherman's Tale is more escape room-esque.
I think you're right. I think it's probably the better game, but I already had Final Fantasy X.
I'm not even talking about in terms of quality.
But in terms of escape room feeling.
I am saying the part of my brain that needs to be flexed to play Fisherman's Tale, I feel is more akin to, especially these audio escape rooms, but a lot of escape room based stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I Expect You to Die. It's fun, it's funny. You can see why people liken it to escape rooms, but to me, it actually fulfills a completely different kind of
But it is a puzzle game where you have to, basically, you are a secret agent who's been put in all these positions where you're about to get killed, you're about to die, and you solve your way out of it. The intro is that you're in a car that's like in the back of a plane, about to like dropped out of the plane or something, and you have to like unlock this and open this and find this thing.
Oh no, the deadly gas is going to go off.
Yeah, and so you put on the gas mask before the gas goes off, and you open it, you duck out of the way when they're going to...
And the large expectation of it is there is a bit of... not trial and error. What do you call it? Where you will try something, it will fail. You learn from the failure.
Yes, it's sort of trial and error, but it's forced.
You are expected, as it happens, to die and to learn from that death.
And then you try again, and you know that one's coming, so you avoid it. It is great. It's very interesting. The puzzles are fun to solve. It looks good. It sounds good. It's well written. And it's my VR pick. There's other VR games I've played that I really like. that I could put on this list that I haven't, like, Red Matter or Fisherman's Tale, things
Seventh
like that.
Guest.
Seventh Guest VR, all these great ones. But I needed a game for I, and I went, this is kind of whole. I'm pinning all of the VR puzzle games on the back of I Expect You to Die.
That's very fair.
Okay.
We're going to get through my J very quickly because I
Yes.
couldn't get a J.
Dani could not think of a J. We found a J that you technically haven't played, but you technically have played.
Apparently, I don't play J games. I was just sitting there going, why haven't we played Journey? So the one that I ended up getting as a game that I have played, and look, I've played a lot of it in its way, asterisk, is Jetpack. What year's Jetpack?
1983, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. The only reason that I have played it is because you play it inside Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, there's a level in Donkey Kong 64 where you can get Donkey Kong to go up to an arcade machine and pull a lever.
No, that's where you play the Donkey Kong arcade game.
Oh, where's Jetpack?
Cranky Kong has Jetpack.
Oh.
So when you get something like 15 special coins or thereabouts,
Then
he says, great, you've played enough. You can now play Jetpack.
Yeah, and it's just the entire 1983 arcade game Jetpack inside Donkey Kong.
So, and yeah, you get a special necessary for 100% reward if you get a certain number of points in Jetpack. And so I played a lot of Jetpack.
And you know what, everybody? The reason Dani likes playing Jetpack? It's an action platformer.
It very much is.
There's only 3 platforms, and they're on one screen, and you just have to avoid things and shoot a laser at them, but it's great.
I
You're
like
just a little guy with a jetpack.
Being able to stand in one place and shoot a laser and just blindly into the void until there's a spot, like there's an opening, I can go now.
It's one of those games, those classic arcade games, where the only reward is that every time you shoot something, you'll see
you
like
get points.
200 appear, and you get 200 points.
Which is outrageously frustrating.
And that's
but
it.
That's why it was good. I wouldn't enjoy it if I were playing it on its own, but the fact that it was part of DK64, so I had an overarching goal, that made it very playable and great. That's all I've got for J.
J is an unhappy
What
letter.
did you do?
There are other J's that are possible. Jack and Daxter is probably a lot of people's J game that they would do, but I never really played it. I played little bits of it, but it was not part of my PlayStation 2 set of games. I really didn't play Jack and Daxter until 15 years after it came out. And I was like, okay, that was one of those games. And I played a little bit, and I was like, yep, fine, I missed the boat on this. I'm not going to care that much about it. I also remembered one, as we were thinking this through, an old Nintendo 64 game that I used to play, which I never owned, which was a sort of a game my cousins owned, so I'd play it when I went to their place, which was Jet Force Gemini, which is a third-person shooter on the Nintendo 64, where you're like a team of space explorers, and it's very funny and cartoony. And that was great. I remember a lot about Jet Force Gemini, but I didn't play a huge amount of it. What I put down was the classic DOS game for me, Jill of the Jungle.
I did play some Jill of the Jungle, and I considered that for J, but I just couldn't remember it well enough to, in good conscience, put it.
So, Jill of the Jungle, side-scrolling action game where you're Jill of the Jungle. When did Jill of the Jungle come out? That must be like
Goodness gracious.
the mid-90s. That must be 94 as well, maybe.
So for me, this was my cousins had Commander Keen, and they had Jill of the Jungle.
It's very Commander Keen-y in its vibes. That came out in 92.
Beautiful.
Epic Mega Games, 1992.
But yeah, I often opted for Commander Keen over this.
And it was a very, very like weird side-scrolling puzzle game. Not puzzle, action game, where you are playing Jill of the Jungle, just a woman with blonde hair and a green bodysuit. There's platforms, there's enemies. You pick up like throwing knives and other weird, and you just side-scroll and you try and beat it. It has weird references. There's a lot of weird meta references to other video games. Like, there's ideas that like, why is Jill of the Jungle in this? Oh, they tried to get Mario, but Mario was sick. They tried to get Commander Keen, but he couldn't make it. He was in space. So Jill of the Jungle's here.
Now, the one thing that I recall as what did intrigue me, because this was a thing that I loved as a kid, there are certain segments of you are able to turn into animals.
Yes, you can turn into like a
I was
firebird.
so into turning into animals as a kid.
It's a really, really fun, weird game. It looks very much like it came out in 1992. Yeah, like here's a random scene from the game that just says, which gives you a platforming challenge, and there's just text behind you that says how you're going to get up there. Like it was lovely. I have no idea if it holds up on a replay. I have not
even a
played it
little
since
bit.
I was a kid.
Not a clue.
There are some games that don't. I remember playing Hocus Pocus as a kid and thinking it was good, and playing it recently and going, "Oh, this is a bad game." I played a game called Billy the Kid, which is
Oh yeah,
I really loved as
remember
a
you
kid.
playing that.
I played that like last year, and I went, "Oh my gosh, this is horrendously bad." I don't think Zilla the Jungle would be though. I think it would be quite good.
I think it would be annoying just to look at some of these stills. I get the feeling that jumping would be a real pain.
Probably, but it is phenomenal, and by that I mean I remember it from my childhood. This one actually I can't put any vouch as to whether it's good, but check it out if you can find a copy of it. Of Zilla the Jungle, I think it's worth a quick look.
Definitely worth a quick, potentially free look.
It's a cool, fun, weird little game, and I think of the time, rare to have a game with a female character, and nice to be able to play one in 1992.
Yeah, taken from Samus, but being more openly female.
Nice. We're on to letter K.
What's your K?
I have an obvious K.
Well, I don't know. There are a couple of Ks that I remember. I
There are
had trouble
probably
with K, but there were a few that I thought were good
I
for
think
you.
K would probably have a lot of really interesting ones. But there's again, like Arcanum, there's a certain game that I have to put if I get K. We talked about Dragon Age Origins being the last of the great BioWare games. That's because I don't like Mass Effect as much. I want to like Mass Effect. I really try and like Mass Effect. I just can't get into it. But their great sci-fi game, the great BioWare sci-fi game, is Knights of the Old Republic. Technically, I could have put it under S, I think, for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but it's just called Knights of the Old Republic.
Would you, if you have to pick, go for KOTOR 1 or KOTOR 2?
I would go for KOTOR 1.
Interesting, okay.
I think KOTOR 2 never finished.
This is true.
And there apparently
It's
there
like
are
Dragon
people
Age 2.
you can get like a mod that has all this stuff that was meant to be in the game that never made it, and people like playing the restored version. I've never played the restored version. Maybe I'd like it more if I had. I also think it has a confused moral sensibility.
Yes.
KOTOR 2. It is classically one of the first games that Obsidian made, KOTOR 2. And it has all the same flaws that every Obsidian game has, which is it feels like it's well written until you pay attention, and then it's like, actually, what are you doing? See Obsidian. KOTOR 1, Knights of the Old Republic 1. This is when I was like 15 or 16, I kind of went, why do I think I like Star Wars? I've never really been into Star Wars movies, and I've never really, and the prequels weren't that good. And why do I think of Star Wars so fondly as a world? What is my, because I like Star Wars, but I don't love Star Wars. I'm not one of those people who really love Star Wars. I didn't watch it at the right age or whatever, but why do I really love it? And it's because of Knights of the Old Republic. It's the best Star Wars media that exists. It's fantastic. In a recent episode for our patrons, we have a show for our $10 patrons called Charmed, I'm Sure, where we rewatch the TV show Charmed, and there was a character in Charmed who I realized was one of the voice actors from Knights of the Old Republic, and I talked about it for about 20 minutes in the episode.
He falls to like fanboy pieces.
It's
quite something.
It's a great game. Really well played. It was interesting from a BioWare perspective because they made your party smaller. You could only ever have 2 members of your party, which was interesting. But it's the classic thing of you can always talk to them, and each of the characters talks to each other, and they have stuff to say. And there's these really nuanced relationships between all the characters that you fly around with and that you talk to.
I definitely need to give this one another shot.
You definitely should. It's a great game.
My experience,
a lightsaber and a blaster.
My experience with KOTOR was very odd in that I played through the intro and then stopped, and the reason was I just didn't feel that engaged. I didn't feel like I had I was connected to the world and all. And the reason for that was because the beginning, the character select had glitched out on me, so all I could do was pick a default character. I couldn't make my own character.
You gotta play it
so
again.
I had complete disengagement. I didn't care about this person.
You gotta play it again with a character you can care about. Oh, it's so good. It's great. KOTOR is fantastic. If you haven't played KOTOR, again, a very hard one to play in a modern day in terms of like getting it to run. But I'm sure there are ways. You just gotta look it up, and it's fantastic. KOTOR is one of the great games. Actually, if you're the right kind of person for it, I believe one of the easiest ways to play it is it was ported onto the iPad / the phone.
What?
So if you've got a phone with a proper big screen, I'm pretty sure there is an iPad version of KOTOR that apparently, from what I've seen, and I'm not sure, so double check this, might run really well. It might be a really good way to play it.
Okay.
I wouldn't play it that way. I'd play it on a PC like a real boy. But it's great. It's interesting. It's wonderful. It's a fun combat system. It is the game that turned into Dragon Age Origins. It was like KOTOR to Dragon Age Origins is a very clear jump, and it's fantastic. Really good characters, really good writing, really good voice acting. That and Arcanum are some of my early games that spoiled me for other games in terms of voice acting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why does everyone sound so bad in these when they can sound so good in Arcanum and KOTOR? What's happening with every other video game? And just interesting, well-written, fun story, fun character, really engaging with those characters, interesting twists, interesting plot beats, really fun places to explore, lots of diversity in the places you can go. And everyone, just play KOTOR. Why are you listening to this podcast when you could be playing KOTOR? You weirdos.
All right,
I know you like escape rooms and things like that. That's fine. But you should get a lightsaber and you should go and take Carthanassi and Bastila and go around. And that game also features a forge. Actually, that might be the second one.
It's very funny that the RPGs are the ones that have the least sort of puzzling to them.
Yes, true. That really does not have much puzzling stuff. There's little bits of it, but not much.
My K game.
Oh, yeah. What's your K? Is it going to be KOTOR? No.
Well, perhaps not, but we certainly had good experiences with this in that it was a standout game in a franchise that other people aren't so
Ooh.
crazy about.
Really? What is
A
this?
huge franchise that I have a lot of problems with, but oh boy, did we enjoy Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, to be clear.
Okay,
I mean, it's a very, very different game.
that's true.
I always put Kingdom Hearts Chain. Look, Kingdom Hearts 1 is a good game.
Yeah,
And then
it's silly and childy.
Yes, and then it gets
It doesn't grab me anymore as an adult.
completely inscrutable as a series.
We tried to replay all of them and tapped out early into
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
It doesn't.
didn't
It's
grab.
so hard. But Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, specifically Chain of Memories, because the original one was on Game Boy, and
Yeah,
some people
little
prefer
isometric
that.
Game Boy
But
one.
I really
I'm
like
sure it's
the
fine.
PlayStation port of it that had like 3D movement and voice acting and full characters and
So
more story.
This
and
one
it
is
was
somehow
great.
simultaneously an action game still and a card deck-based game.
Yeah, it's a deck builder where you try and get the right deck of moves that you can use to
You're
fight.
trying to draw 3 cards at a time to get combos
It's
in
really
certain
good.
ways. It's really unusual, and you can see when you start to play it, you go, this is nonsense. I understand why
And then
everyone hates this.
And then it clicks. One day, like you'll be
Oh,
like
boy.
3 or 4 fights in, and you'll just go, "Wait, I can see it now. I understand this system." And then you play it, and it's so good.
It was fantastic. It was ridiculous. I wonder how many gaming experiences, our gaming experiences, this was another one that we played together.
Mm.
Your character can have multiple decks. So we would just like have, all right, deck 1, that's your deck. Deck 2, that's my deck. Just the one that we like to play with.
Oh, that's fun.
And so maybe we get a very different experience that can often enhance it when it's the two of us playing together, even when it's a single player game.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all games hold up to that, but some of them really do. Wonderful. What's your L?
I mean, there were, again, some significant choices here.
I didn't think of any good significant choices. I had no ideas for L.
Oh.
I put the first good game I thought of
Oh.
as a recent interesting thing that we did. But what's a good L? What are your L? What are the L's you didn't pick?
Well, look, most of the ones in this franchise,
Oh, obviously every Legend of Zelda.
the
Sorry.
word L legend
completely-
starts with L.
I didn't think for a sec. You know, the problem when I got to Z, I was thinking I can't put Zelda because it's Legend of Zelda. I didn't think about putting it for L. I'm an idiot. I would have put Twilight Princess.
That's exactly what I
Of
put.
course, I would have put Twilight Princess. Okay, well, I'm glad you put Twilight Princess. Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess.
Now, Twilight Princess was actually not my first Zelda game, so it's not even just necessarily a case of
It's just really good.
this is the first one that I played, therefore it's the best. Because I did play a good chunk of Ocarina of Time
Which is also
shortly
great.
before Twilight Princess, but Twilight Princess is the first one that I started and finished and fell completely in love with. And it didn't get much love in its time, and only now are people realizing
Yeah,
how amazing
finally.
it is.
Finally,
And
people have been
it's-
like, oh, actually,
and
that's
saying,
a really good
why
one.
is this one not getting a remaster?
Yeah, it's so
Because
good.
it deserves it. It is beautiful.
I will say, objectively, I think, even though I didn't play it until I was an adult, I think the best Legend of Zelda game, the actual, like the one that is the best, is Link to the Past. I think Link to the Past is the best
Pretty
Zelda.
spectacular.
Ocarina of Time is also really, really good. There are some fundamental flaws in it, but it's fantastic. I played it huge amounts as a kid. I
I
loved
think
it.
that Link
Majora's
Between
Mask.
Worlds is
Link
a
Between-
technical spot-on
But-
game.
But Twilight Princess, the vibe of it, it's just great.
It just
It
it makes
has
you feel so wistful.
It
Just
has
the
some of the
colours
best
and the
items
music.
in the Zelda series.
Mm.
It has some
Some
really
of the
fun
locations
moments.
are weird and twisted
It
in
fixes
bizarre ways.
some major problems with some of the Zelda games. One of my biggest problems with Zelda is it'll often go, and Ocarina of Time has this problem where it'll go, oh, you should explore and find secrets. You go, oh, what's the secret? It's $100. Your wallet's full. Put the 100. You can't take it. Oh, so that's the only reward. Yeah, it was $100 was the reward. I don't know, whatever. Whereas at least in Twilight Princess, they give you all those rewards, but you can do something with it. You want all of that. You always want the next reward. And if you don't want it and you can't hold it, you put it back so you can come back later.
It's not just lost forever.
It's a really interesting game.
I also
Oh, man,
really
it's good.
appreciate how was it the first one of the Zelda games that well, I mean, no, I suppose some of the Game Boy games did it. But Zelda had started doing this thing where their more modern games started revisiting the worlds of older games. So this one was clearly like a revisit of Ocarina of Time.
It was very clearly
in the same way
built
that
around Ocarina
Link
of Time.
Between Worlds is a clear revisit of Link to the Past.
Well, not the same.
Not quite too
because
as
Link
extensive.
Between Worlds being a revisit of Link to the Past is literally it's the same map. Like bit for bit.
So
it
Twilight
is exactly
Princess
the same.
isn't
Twilight
quite
Princess,
that intense.
No, but it is a Hyrule that is much closer to being a
and I think
redesign
that
of the
didn't work for some
Ocarina.
people, but
yeah, it felt too like haven't I already done this? It doesn't feel like its own game.
I just
Oh,
thought
but
it
it's
was
so good.
wonderful. And again,
Wrestling-
more turning into animals.
Sumo wrestling Gorons. Oh, beautiful.
The Sky World is just so
It's a really, really
gorgeous.
good. It's a really good. It is not my L.
All right, what'd you go with?
I went for a puzzle game.
Oh,
I went for a
okay.
recent puzzle game.
Okay.
One that we played, that we loved, that we got recommended, was really good. It's weird. It's an absolutely
all
weird
right.
game.
Yep, I
but
getcha.
definitely worth playing. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
So many people told us we had to play it.
Everybody we met was like, "Oh, you're puzzle people. Have you played Lorelei yet?" We went, "No, I haven't played it yet." It's great. It's
Had a
really,
great time.
really good. It's very interesting. It's very weird. It's got a sort of like Resident Evil, but only puzzles vibe.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a very good explanation
It's
of the
visually
feel.
absolutely beautiful. The
Yeah,
puzzles
it's the right
are
sort of weird for
good.
me.
I don't think it ever got to a point really, maybe a little bit at the end, but it never got. Some puzzle games, as you get to late game, because they keep thinking we should get harder and puzzles, that eventually you're just like,
They get
I
worse.
don't care. This one I don't think did that. I think maybe the final
No.
puzzle required a little bit of like, wait, what? But overall, it was one that you can just play the
I
whole way
think
through.
we were very happy with
Yeah,
it.
it feels good. Honestly, we made one big mistake that we had to look up, and it wasn't a puzzle thing. It was a UI issue where we didn't realize we had like 5 of something because they were just stacked on top of each other, and we thought we only had one thing. And then we're like, how is there nothing to do? It's like, no, there's heaps to do. You just haven't clicked the next button, dummy. But other than that, and that was our fault, not
Yep.
its. I think we mostly got through it completely clean. It was a really weird game.
It was borderline. Like, some games are weird. Like I've said, I love Inscription's level of weird. There are some games that try to go weird
And they
and
just get
obtuse to the point where I find it obnoxious and they're just not explaining themselves. And then everyone on the internet says, oh, it's perfectly clear just because it wasn't hand-holding you.
Yeah.
And I hate those people.
This one,
But
I think...
borderline.
But I think the thing that saves Lorelei is that often it is doing stuff where it's like, this could be seen as really obnoxious and weird. And often then the game will be like, no, this is clearly obnoxious and weird. Don't pay attention to this. It's too obnoxious and weird. This guy he's not saying anything that means anything. Ignore it. This doesn't mean anything. Much more, rather than making you think that it wants you to understand it. It'll just be like, no, this is nonsense. This is explicitly nonsense. Don't worry about it. It's a really, really good game and worth playing. We are on to our final game
Oh, my.
of this episode. It's already over an hour. It is the M game. Did we put the same M?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. I went for what is a phenomenal... I'm still in the puzzle world.
Sure.
I went, if you're happy for me to go,
Absolutely.
I went for Myst.
I was very tempted to go for Myst.
Myst is a game that gets a bad rap.
We probably talked about this before,
We've
but we're
talked about
gonna.
this a lot.
We're gonna.
We streamed all of Myst. We do a lot of puzzle game streaming. We actually recently just got back into it. So if you want to, go and check out Play This Game Live. Play This Game _live on Twitch, where we do a lot of this. And there's a whole archive of every game we've played, bar one.
If there are any of these on this list that you would like to see us play,
Oh, let
tell
us
us. Oh, happily.
Please let us know. we played Myst for the first time, really. I played a tiny bit of Myst as a kid, right? When it came out, and
I
Myst
never
came out
had.
in 95 or something? Maybe?
Maybe earlier.
Maybe earlier? When did Myst release? Myst came out in 93. I played it for like 2 seconds in 93. Not in 93, but like in the mid-90s or late 90s. Whatever. It wasn't really for me. It's a game for adults, I think.
And yet, this was a time when people didn't know that games could be for adults.
Yeah.
So they gave it to their kids.
And the kids all failed miserably at Myst. And so Myst has this reputation of being too obtuse and too obscure and too hard.
The impossible puzzle game.
If you right now, you listen to Escape This podcast, you are ready to play Myst, go and play Myst. It is a phenomenal puzzle game. It is so everything makes sense. Everything works. It is completely solvable. You can look at everything, you can work it out, and you can always logic your way through and solve and understand and do the next bit of Myst.
Yeah, I would describe, while there were moments where we had to stop and we couldn't figure out something, at no point did we get stuck.
No.
We could always figure out what came next. We didn't cheat at all.
It's weird and strange. It's an odd little world. It is one of the rare games that has a fun world, even though it does not in any way feel lived in. It's not a world that's meant to feel lived in. It's a world that is meant to feel empty and alone, and it does it well, and it's really interesting.
It felt like it left a lot of promise for future games as well, and then we did not like Riven.
Because Riven is a much more beautiful world and a much more like visually interesting game and a much more like world-buildingly interesting game. But the puzzle design of Riven is so much worse than Myst. Riven is the game that is too obtuse. And the Riven is the game where you're like, what really
and
you want me
it
to
suddenly starts to be a lot more about
and getting
pixel
more
hunting and
annoying
things
and-
like that.
Yes, no
and
puzzle
running
in
back
Myst.
and forth between really far away locations.
Nothing in Myst is ever annoying. It's always good. It's well designed the whole way through. It's fun to play Myst. Riven, late game Riven, gets to points of like not being fun. When you fail, it's annoying. And you're like, oh, I've got to do this again.
A lot of puzzle games fall into this. When they want their last puzzle to be challenging, they make it bigger, and sometimes that broadness is just not enjoyable to partake in.
Myst is always it is a perfect puzzle game. I would put Myst as one of those games like The Witness or other, where it's just like, yes, from a puzzle perspective, that's the game. Like, it just knows what it's doing. It wants to talk this through.
Yeah, The Witness I could see having similar feel to Myst for sure.
If you have enjoyed The Witness, go back and play Myst. It's great. And we played it only recently. We streamed the whole thing. You can check it out. And
I'm sure because it's a puzzle
great.
game, having two players working together was a significant advantage.
Play it with your partner. Play it with a friend. Play it with your family. It's great.
Maybe playing works just as well, but there are some games that we can only talk from our own experience of when we played together, and it was a great experience playing it together. Same as Blueprints. Most people obviously playing Blueprints on their own.
Play it together. It's more fun. You can swap off and you get annoyed at the RNG.
Yeah.
Dani, this is the final game for this episode. We're coming back next week with more. What is your game for M?
I would love, in fact, I'm going to look up exactly when this game came out because it's old.
Ooh, what's Dani's old M game? Have I played it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
Mission Critical.
Wow.
When did it come out?
The origin is unclear.
What? Murderwinks.
So seemingly 90s. But
how can the origin be unclear? What is this game?
Oh, isn't that
Mud.
fun?
Multi-user dungeon. That's not a game, it's a genre.
I did go a bit off kilter for this one, for
What
something
is
that everyone
this?
has played. Minesweeper.
Minesweeper!
This was very likely your first puzzle game.
If you're the right age.
Everybody, that's a big span of right age in there.
Minesweeper. Minesweeper is a game that I didn't realize was like that I never solved a game of Minesweeper until I was like 17. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I know the rules to Minesweeper. You can actually play this game.
It is a great one to go back for. I think every child should play this. If you have children and you want them to become puzzle people or maths people or just anyone with a kind of logic brain, Minesweeper is where you should start them.
It's a logic game. It's a
That's
beautiful
all
logic
it
game.
is. It is, okay, if there is one mine next to this one, but there are two mines next to this one, what can I rule out?
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a logic game. And I thought, I'm very happy that this is the 13th letter of the alphabet. So this is where we got to do our cutoff point, because I cannot think of anything that exemplifies the fact that we all grew up as puzzle people. That was just, we had so many things. Like, we've been going through childhood games, and something like this I thought really deserved to have a mention.
That's true. Yeah, I'm really glad. Because Minesweeper's Minesweeper. It's a classic. Stay tuned for next episode where Dani will put down pinball and solitaire.
No joke. If I had the letters available, a pinball game was going to make the list.
But yeah, Minesweeper is a really lovely game. I think people overlook it because it's one of these just like it's pre-installed in Windows. No one really knows how to do it at first. It's like, and so you just ignore it.
I played Hearts a lot as a kid. No one knew how to play Hearts, but I got there. But Minesweeper, I don't remember exactly how you learned to play Minesweeper, whether someone had to tell you how to play it. I remember just you click on numbers, you see the frowny face a lot.
Yeah.
And then eventually somehow you start to figure out what to do and how it actually works.
But it's great. And it is a really good, as you say, it's a really good lesson in logic. In what you can know is true and what you can know is and what you can't know yet.
If you can if you can do maths, you can play Minesweeper. If you can play Minesweeper, you can do maths. And
if you can't play Minesweeper, you probably can. Just learn how to play Minesweeper.
It's really well worth it.
Do you know
and
what I've noticed?
I think it's a very significant part of our upbringing that deserves its time in the sun.
Also, if you want to get good at Minesweeper, it's one of those games where there's huge online communities where you can just be like, hey, what's the next step on this puzzle? And they'll go, well, use this logic to figure out this. Then you go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And then you can get a whole new tool in your Minesweeper toolbox. Same with like nonograms and stuff and Sudokus. You can there'll be people who are there to tell you the type of clue that you've got that will solve. And then half the time they go, nope, that's a 50-50 shot. Sorry, you're going to have to just guess. Minesweeper, that's its biggest drawback, is there are a lot of unavoidables. Like, often is like, nope, there's a 50-50 shot. I made a video for our $10 donors where I played Minesweeper.
What? Oh.
And there it is, one of my favorite videos that I've made, because there's a moment at the end where I think something's a 50-50, and then I work out that there's actually a way to use and abuse the logic to turn it into a 1 in 3 chance instead of a a 2 in 3 chance instead of 50-50, and I'm so excited about it. And I click it.
You
and I
Monty Hold Minesweeper?
It's really
that's
good.
Amazing.
I feel so proud of it. It's one of my proudest Minesweeper moments, and it's on tape. So yeah, this is really just an ad for our Patreon for people. Go and check out my Minesweeper video.
You're in a good mood.
Just sign up for 1 month to watch one Minesweeper
better
video,
time
and you'll be fine. All right, thank you everybody for this weird bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed listening to it.
Maybe you got some nostalgia hits.
We're coming back with the proper season soon. I think the first episode we figured out will be released on the 4th of February.
The third for a lot of you.
Oh, the third for all the Americans in the audience. So it's coming out right at the start. The first week of February is the new season beginning. So look, next week we'll have another one of these. We'll go through from N till Z. And then something else the week after. We'll look forward to seeing you there, I guess. Thank you so much for listening. This was a fun bonus episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
Thank you. We just wanted
This is all
to
Dani's
chat.
idea, this game, so if you have problems with listing video games from A to Z, complain to Dani, not to me.
It was my idea to do some games chat list, and then Billy started talking about the alphabet, and I went, great, that'll do.
I'm always talking about the alphabet. You can't stop me. All right, goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you next week with N to Z. Bye.